Well, kick your natural air conditioner into overdrive with a spicy dinner. Chef Laura with Celebrated Cuisine is here with us this morning, cooking up some pan-seared scallops with a spicy sweet glaze.
Spicy
Good
sweet
morning.
glaze. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
I thought we'd do a little pick-me-up to get the day going. A little bit of kick from the fabulous flavors of the Southwest. We're doing a little scallop dish today, and this was actually inspired by one of my cooking students who spent a day with me. She came in from Texas, and she told, so I took a little bit of poetic license, stretched it out a little bit. So what we start with is a wonderful scallop. So these are what are known as U10. So they're about 2 ounces a piece. And one thing I want to point out, a lot of people don't realize this, is that this is a muscle, right? You want to pull this piece off. I don't know if your camera can see that or not, but you want to pull this piece off before you go to cook it, because this is kind of tough. It doesn't really add anything to the flavor or consistency. So you always want to remove that. And then what you want to do is take a cast iron skillet, get it nice and hot, and you're going to dredge your scallop in just pepper. Okay, just a lot of black pepper.
Wow.
And we're going to just stick that right on the heat and let that start to sear. Okay. While that's doing that, let me talk to you about your sauce for a second. So very, very straightforward. In a saucepan, you just want to add a tiny little bit of oil. It can be canola oil, sesame oil, whatever your flavor preferences are, and then add some garlic and let that get aromatic. Once it's aromatic, I minced up a little bit of jalapeno, and in this case I use red jalapeno because it's very spicy but also sweet. And you'll notice when I cut it, I didn't cut the top off, I just cut down the side. That way I left most of the seeds intact. The seeds and the rib is really what amps up the heat that much more. So if you like it super spicy, add more of the seed and you'll get that reaction as well, okay?
So did you get any of the seed in there by cutting it in that method?
No, I thought I'd be a kinder, gentler Chef Laura this morning.
Thank goodness.
It's still kind of early. So so what I have in here now, then I added my jalapeno, I sauteed that till it got a little soft, and then I did a little bit of deglaze on the pan, which means I added a liquid. In this case, I added some dry sherry. You could also use mirin if you want to, which has more of an Asian flair to it. And once that pretty much evaporated, I had some preserves. And the recipe calls for apricot, but you can add peach, mango, pineapple, whatever kind of preserves you really like. And it just naturally melts down in the pan. And as a result, you end up with this wonderful glaze that looks just like this. Okay.
You know, some people are concerned about the sugar, whether it's because of being diabetic or health conscious or whatever. Could you use a sugar-free preserve?
Absolutely.
And with the same success? Or?
Pretty much, yeah, you will, because they add other things to emulsify that particular preserve, so you should be in really good shape. You could also take peach and puree it and add that if you want to. So you could use a totally natural fruit. So this is what our glaze looks like, and we're going to add that onto our pan in just a few minutes. Now, as far as our scallop goes, we've nicely seared one side. Notice my pan has been dry. I flip it over. See the nice seared crust on that?
Yeah.
Now what we do is we actually take that same scallop and we dredge it just in sugar on the other side. So if you are going for the low sugar thing, you want to skip this part, okay?
But what does that do to the flavor?
What it's going to do is it's going to end up caramelizing on the other scallop. So I'm going to have sweet on one side and spicy on the other. Okay.
Look at that.
So, and this doesn't take very long, as you can tell. Got a little bit of heat going here.
Okay.
Here we go. We can pull that out the heat for a second. There we go. And all this is doing is caramelizing the sugar on the other side. And we're just going to let that finish, and it takes about 1.5 minutes, which is all the scallop needs to cook anyway.
Okay.
On the other side. So we've already cooked one side. On each side,
okay.
Yeah. So about 3 minutes to cook these scallops. Probably one of the reasons people don't enjoy scallops is because they've been overcooked.
Okay.
So you want to treat it gently. They're very fragile. So they're very lean, as mollusks go. All mollusks are lean, which is the type of seafood that they are. And I'll pull that off the heat now. And then I can just take this.
I have to ask you though.
Sure.
It looks like a lot of pepper. Is that gonna be difficult?
That's why we have the sweetness of the sauce.
It's gonna cut it off.
It'll all balance it.
Okay. Okay, I thought, am I the only one in the whole wide world that's thinking that? But I feel like maybe I wasn't.
You're end up gonna have a lovely balance of that instead. So now we have some caramelization on our scallop, as you can see.
Well, and I think the way you char that pepper on there is beautiful too.
Different looking consistency on each side as well, right? So then we have something super pretty. So we have a little spicy, a little sweet. And then we just take our sauce right here, which we want to add a little bit of heat to the dish, but we'll also just spoon a little bit of that around. And then people have the option of having that on.
That sauce.
Does that smell good? You have little pieces of
May I try some?
Absolutely.
And burn my tongue?
I even brought you a fork today.
All right. Did I get some with the pepper? Because I gotta try.
It's going to be on both sides. You can't miss it. Yep.
Are you nervous? No. I'm never going to doubt you ever again. Oh. Not that I ever did.
Good to know. Well, thank you, thank you. And then just for a lovely little side, just a little bit of fire roasted corn, some black beans and avocado and red onion, just mixed up together.
Spicy, definitely has a kick, but that
Sweet
the caramel,
balances.
yes, the sweet balances it, and the sauce is fabulous. It has like a fruity sweet, but light.
And take that sauce, put that on some grilled halibut, put it on some grilled chicken. Sam, you can put it on pretty much anything, and you're really going to enjoy it.
All right, fabulous. And this is
the avocado, black bean, and fire roasted corn salsa to go with that, just to add a little bit of fusion flavor to the plate. Just seasoned with a little bit of fresh lime juice and salt.
You are good. You are one good woman in the
well,
kitchen.
Thank you very much.
Christine.